Back here on the Burns and Gambo show where the Suns coming off a win last night against the San Antonio Spurs. A quarter of the way through the season, roughly, the Suns are 12-8, and they get contributions on a nightly basis from their first-round rookie. And he joins us right now on the Burns and Gambo show. It's a pleasure for us to welcome in Ryan Dunn, the Phoenix Suns first-round pick, who joins us here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Ryan, I'm Dave. This is Gambo, man. Thanks for coming on today. How you doing today?
No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. Just touched down in Orlando, or not Orlando, New Orleans. So it's good to be here.
Good to have you on, my friend. Listen, as a Long Island guy, I know you ended up going to Oak Hill Academy, Long Island Lutheran. You grew up in Nassau County. I'm a Long Island guy too. Where would you have played?
Really?
Yeah, I'm a Suffolk County guy. I miss my Carvel ice cream and my Friendly's Fribble, and you know what I'm talking about. So, I grew up on the island.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jones Beach. I mean, I'm sure you spent a lot of time at Jones Beach, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What high school would you have gone to if you had stayed and not gone to one of the powers?
Oh, man. If I would have went to – I went to Baldwin High School my freshman year.
Okay, so that was your school. Baldwin High School was your school.
That was my school. I went to Baldwin Middle School. Like you said, I'm Nassau, so I think Nassau's better than stuff. I had to throw it out there.
My boxing gym was in Nassau. I used to box out of the Westbury Police Athletic League, if you know what Westbury is.
Yes, of course I know what that is. But, went to Baldwin Middle School. So Baldwin High School was my school. I went there my freshman year. And then once I took basketball seriously, I decided to make the jump to go to Oak Hill to Lou High.
You don't have
if I was back at home, Baldwin would have been my school.
Baldwin would have been. You don't have the accent like I do, but what do you miss? What do you miss about? What do you miss about Long Island the most? Is it the food? Is it the pizza? Is it the bagels? Is it the ice cream? What do you miss the most?
It's a little bit of everything. Like you said, just being at home, there's a lot of good food out there that you can go get. Everyone's kind of nice. Everyone's very laid back. It's not like the city, which I love the city, but you can get away from all the traffic and, the loud noise. It's so peaceful. So I kind of miss home a little bit, but I'm grateful to be here as well.
All right, we'll turn the attention. But from one Long Island guy to another, good to have you on the show again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Tony Bennett left Virginia. I before we talk Suns, you only played for him for a year, but were you surprised when you heard that he was leaving Virginia?
Yeah, I was. I was actually getting ready when we had our preseason game against the Lakers, and got out the shower, and I was getting a bunch of texts and phone calls, and I thought something was wrong. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Everyone said he's retiring, so I didn't know about it, but, like you said, I played for him for 2 years, and he's a guy that I give a lot of credit to. He's a wonderful coach, and even better human being off the court as well. A faithful man, which helped me a lot during my process and my journey growing up to get older. So I give him a lot of thanks, a lot of time. I still try to catch up with him as much as I can, just try to see how he's doing.
Very cool. Ryan Dunn, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo show, is the Phoenix Suns in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans tomorrow, coming off a win against the Spurs. Tell me about your expectations of your season going in, where you were a couple of months ago when this whole thing started. Has your experience so far, 20 games in, with how much you've played and how much you've contributed, has it matched your expectations? Has it exceeded your expectations? Where are you relative to where you thought you'd be a quarter of the way into your rookie season?
That's a good question. I didn't really try to set so much expectations on myself because I don't know what I'm myself into. It's my first year in the NBA. I wasn't trying to be so hard on myself, give myself a lot of grace, but, just come in and compete every day, learn as much as I can. And, whatever I get throughout the season, I get. If I get 20 minutes, I'm cool with that. If I get 5 minutes, I'm forever grateful for that. So I think I can kind of say, I kind of exceeded expectations. I'm helping the team impact as much as I can as a rookie, which is great. But I just try to come every day with a good mentality. Being a young guy on this team, just giving a lot of energy. Me and Oso just trying to compete every day. Whatever they need me to do, whether it's defending or, crashing the glass, rebounding, do as much as I can to help these guys. So I think we've been doing well, but like I always say, it's a long season. It's just taking what we can do, what we get, and being grateful for everything.
All right. I mean, this is no disrespect to anybody else that you're not going to answer. Who has been the toughest cover for you so far, 20 games into your NBA career?
Oh, that's a hard question. There's a lot of great players.
That's why I mean, no disrespect to
nobody, man. I can cover anybody in this league.
No, I mean, just who was no disrespect to any guy that you don't pick, but who's been the toughest guy you've had to cover so far this year?
Yeah, everyone's been tough. I think the one guy that stood out for me was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's probably the one guy where I was
so fast.
he's very crafty, and he's strong for his size. He's tall, and he just moves very well and fluid. So it was a tough matchup for me. So I'm excited to see him again and just try to figure out how to stop him.
Those guys from Strong Island, Burnsy, they're never going to say anything. Like I said, I can take anybody. I can guard anybody.
He said Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I think I can, but I had to answer the question of that. What's up?
Give me your name.
All right. Well, what was your biggest wow moment? Because last night you're sitting there and you're looking at Victor Wembanyama and you're like, oh my God, look at the size of this guy. Was it Steph? Was it LeBron? Was it Wembanyama? What was your wow, I can't believe I'm playing against this guy moment?
Oh, it was LeBron, no question. That was probably my wow moment. I would say coming for our first preseason game where I first check in, and I'm about to shoot these free throws, and then Bron checks in, and then Coach Fizz is like, "You have Bron." I thought he said number one. I don't know who number one was, and he said, "No, you have LeBron." So I'm like, this is a guy that I look up to. This was my childhood hero growing up. I watched him. He kind of helped me get into basketball, and now I have to go guard him for the whole game. And, playing against him, once the ball goes in the air, or the ball gets inbounded, he's a regular guy. But looking back at it and being able to say I was up on the floor and guard it and even got some stops from LeBron, and it's cool. It's cool to say.
Did you grow up a Knicks fan?
I did not grow up a Knicks fan. I was actually a Heat fan for a little while. I grew up a Heat fan when he got traded to the Heat, and then once he left the Heat, I didn't want to be a bandwagon and follow him. So I just said I was a Heat fan. Until I got older. I don't really have a team right now. I mean, obviously the Phoenix Suns, but before this, I wasn't really on a team, but I think I was more of players watchers by then.
So, because growing up in New York, I mean, you're usually tied to those teams, Yankees, Knicks, Rangers, or Mets, Islanders, Nets. I mean, it usually kind of goes to it. You didn't root for the local team.
No, I was a Yankee fan. My whole family's a Yankee fan, diehard Yankee fans. So in our household, it was Yankees. We hate the Mets. That was really our team. We didn't really watch anything else because we were a baseball family growing up.
Yeah, I think we had Oso on the show earlier in the season, or maybe right before the season started. Do you think it's a generational thing that the kids your age really don't have favorite teams when it comes to the NBA, and you have more just players that you like to follow and watch? That feels very much like an NBA thing, and that feels very much like I'm in my 20s and I like the NBA thing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think growing up, we were more teams, and as we get older, and especially when you get into the sport and you start watching different guys and how they play, you become fans of those guys and not much of the team. So, for me, when I really started playing, I watched a lot of Kevin Durant growing up. I watched a lot of Paul George growing up, LeBron, of course, and then Tatum when he got into the league. So guys like that, I always watched, and I always became big fans of their games. So I can understand how kids are going to be I don't have a team now, but I like Paul George or Shea Gilgeous or Luka. They just watch one or two guys play, which I can understand how it's kind of a blessing and a curse because you start watching the game, but not as a fan aspect. Because I feel like the fan can really bring everything to a game, but I think it's kind of a generational thing now.
All right, so you spent the 2 years in Virginia, but did you ever consider the New York colleges, St. John's? I grew up a huge St. John's fan when they were really good. I mean, it was Syracuse. Mm-hmm. Carmelo Anthony won a championship with Syracuse under Boeheim. Did you ever consider any of the New York schools?
Syracuse was one of my dream schools growing up, but I never got recruited by Syracuse. I got recruited very late when I was cutting down my offers. I had a lot of offers going out at high school or college, going to college. And there was a time where I decided, okay, I'm going to pick through these five, 6 schools. And as I decided the 5, 6 schools, Syracuse called. And it was tough for me to say no because it was just too late. I didn't really want to add another school. So I just had to roll with the punches. So, if they would have came earlier, I definitely would have took that visit and see what Coach Boeheim and they were talking about. But yeah, no, I wasn't really recruited by St. John's or Syracuse that heavily.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate the time.
Yeah, great conversation.
Congratulations on what's been going down this season so far. We appreciate you coming on for a few. Best of luck the rest of this season and on this road trip, okay?
No, thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan Dunn, our guest here on the Burns and Gambo Show.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.